Thanks for tuning in to Larry Live, and we're about to have a conversation on a Sunday morning. So it's the convergence of a Sunday morning with Larry Live, and then also what we do in Reformation inside of our community. We've been in a series called The Perception Point, and we talked about perception, deception, and what would happen in the media when Uranus goes into Gemini, and Uranus went into Gemini hours ago. So let's get ready for the conversation absolutely.
Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here, you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and the Build Your Immune System Health and Wellness Lifestyle Plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa, beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be a part of our daily prayers, weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Breakdown Q&A Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Patreon, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us on patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you. Multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, recording artist, spiritual leader, author, and actor. Larry D. Reid is the founder of MBN Global, owner of LDR Enterprises based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the spiritual leader of the Reformation Church of Atlanta. You can catch Larry Reid on the BET Plus original series Kingdom Business and on American Gangster Trap Queens, streaming online at BET.plus. Church Critic by Dr. Larry D. Reid, an examination of the Larry Reid Live Show perspective. Available now on Amazon and Kindle. Inside, he shares his unfiltered perspectives on the issues the church often avoids: the role of women, deconstruction, fatherlessness, homosexuality, decolonization, and the clash between Western and African Christianity, and so much more. Get your copy today on Amazon and Kindle. Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text LRL to 888-982-3820. That's the letters LRL to 888-982-3820 and get notified when we go live. Become a member of Patreon. Log on to patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Sign up, download the Patreon app, and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
I know many of you have been having dreams, and I want to help you decode this message that Spirit is giving to you. See, you are consistently receiving signals, and you're consistently seeing symbols. Some of you have been seeing numbers, and then you dream these things, and you're sitting in a wonder. Well, I've created a chat GPT. I want you to click the link, and I want you to download it, and it'll show up on the left-hand side, and it says, the Dream Guide from the Side. I've been interpreting dreams for many years. So click the link, and you are going to be able to have me in your pocket, on your device, on your phone, whenever you wake up first thing in the morning. Write down the dream, and then copy and paste it into the chat GPT. Then it's going to give you the interpretation and explain to you the symbols. Be very descriptive in your typing up of the dream. And then what it gives you, I want you to copy and paste it and put it back into the space where you record all of your dreams. These dreams are like a letter that comes from God, unopened. And with the chat GPT, you will be able to open this letter and read the message that is coming from the mind of the Spirit concerning you and yours. Click the link right now. There's another Chat GPT that I want to introduce to you. And this Chat GPT is for those of you that are decolonizing and deconstructing in the world of your faith. As a Christian, we are taught to beg, ask the Lord, the Master, the King, for all of these different things. And that type of praying, we have used it for years, and it has worked because of our intention, but there's a better way to pray. And this new Chat GPT is going to transform the way that you pray and help you pray decolonized prayers. This is where you pray with the understanding that God is not outside of you, but operating through you as source, creator, the divine intelligence. Begging is not praying. And begging while you're praying is not the best way to pray. And this Chat GPT helps you pray in a way that is both spiritual, technicalized, and empowering, bringing together your mind and your feelings, your energy, your body, all together involved in the manifestation of what you want with your mouth. Your mouth is one of the greatest manifestation tools you have. And this Chat GPT is going to teach you how to pray it into form. Download it right now. You see the link, hit the link, and it's going to integrate with your Chat GPT. We're about to have a conversation. All right, good morning to each and every one of you, and I hope that you had a great night's sleep. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably waking up to get ready and lay your Sunday morning clothes out if you're on the West Coast. Well, those of you that are over there in Dubai and Qatar and Doha and the Middle East region, and you watch the Larry Live show, thank you for watching. Please share the link with everybody. Those of you that are in Ghana and in South Africa that is watching us, hello, hello, hello. And those of you that are in other areas around the world, put in the chat where you are watching us from. It is April the 26th, 2026, and today is a very important day as relates to astrological and also numerology, that world, and just overall spirit patterns and things that are running parallel that I think we need to discuss. And we've already been in the discussion of all of these things for some time. In fact, what has been happening in this calendar year, we started that conversation many years ago, but strongly in 2024. And if you've been following this platform since 2024 closely, especially August, September of last year is really when we began to go into the future. And I believe the heavens and spirit mapped out what would be happening, not just in America, but in our world. So I want to see the hands of you in the chat. Just lift your hands, find the emoji that you've been here since August of last year. You may not have seen every broadcast because up until recently, it was so much information, 5-6 times a week, if you include the manifestation prayer mornings. But if you've been here that long, you've seen prophecy and or prediction, one after the next, come to pass over and over and over and over, down to the day. Some of these things have been predicted. So if you're not a part of this community, there's several reasons why you should be. But just so you can be very clear about what is happening in the year, every single year, you need to be in our Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Live, because we're not always out here. And as this administration continues to do Project 2025, Project Esther, and also the Agenda 47, and then all of the legs that comes out of that, if they continue to do this, and more than likely they will, you may not be able to find Larry Live on social media. So it's important for you to, number one, be in Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Live, and to also make sure that you have our apps and our website, mbnnetworkglobal.org and larrylive.com. And the Larry Live app, make sure you download it, because if something happens and you can't watch us anymore, if you got our app, we can go live on our app. We can go live on our website. All the technology is there. And we've done it about 4 or 5 years ago. But we're still using social media because there's still a little bit of organic connection that still happen. And I'm going to be on social media until it's just totally gone. And so plug into our community by getting in Patreon, download the Larry Live app as well, and turn your notifications on for the Patreon app and the Larry Live app, just in case I have to go live and tell you something, and it's just between me and you, and we can do it where the administration can't easily stop us. I recently had an experience, and I had talked about this on the platform, the possibilities of this happening. It happened to me the last time I came into the country, and I didn't share with anybody except Celestial Circle, is when I came into the country, and I knew then that my passport and my social media was flagged. I already had discerned it. Spirit already put me in on it long time ago. But it finally happened this last time, and I told the 2 to 3 people that typically travels with me, and I told them, I said, if I get pulled, if I get stopped, make sure y'all keep going and just tell everybody. I said, if I don't come quickly, then okay, we got a real serious problem. And that is what happened. And I had went into 2 or 3 countries the last time I left America, but only when I came back into my country where I was born is where I had the issue. I think that's telling. I think it's prophetic. I think it's symbolic. And they pulled me to the side, and just so happened that L.R. Eller was back there doing the work that they're employed to do, and just looked at me, winked, pulled my file, had me up there, and gave me all my bags back, my passport back, and told me to have a nice day, while all these other brown and black people were being held. And I ended up getting out of it just because of favor with having L.R. Ellers everywhere. I told you guys some time ago, 24, to get your passport, your ID, your address, your lease, your mortgages, your utilities, everything in order to where your name, and I stressed Black married women, to make sure your names are spelled right. If it's Junior, make sure it's Junior everywhere. If it's the third or the second, make sure it's like that on everything. And to get everything congruent and get everything harmonized when it comes to your identity. I told you to tell all of your family members to get their passport. It doesn't matter if they have plans to go out of the country or not. You need it for your identification, and you will need it to vote. And now, in the recent 10, 12 months, it's been talked about more, especially in 2026. So if you can stay plugged in right here, and I'm making everything short now, around an hour. Sunday mornings are sometimes 2 hours, but everything else, and Wednesday night sometimes, I'm trying to cut it short so you can quickly watch and digest and get your information. So If you can't always watch, let me give you a secret. Download your favorite chat, whether it's OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Gemini, one of them, and you can look at the title of all of my videos, type it into your ChatGPT, whatever you choose. Of course, I use a lot of them, but I tend to go to ChatGPT quickly and easily because it has a lot of my information on the back end. And you put that it's on this particular YouTube channel. This is the title. Can you summarize this video for me? We always make sure that our transcript is going while we're live. So sometimes it's able to pull it. Sometimes it's say, well, give me the transcript. You can go to our video, right click and highlight all of it and drop it into ChatGPT, and it will give you a summary of my 2-hour video. You can do that, but you can't miss anything that has been said, whether it's predictive, prophetic, or just profound information that changes the way you live and changes your lens. You need to be here. All right, so we're going to review the White House video, the White House dinner video that was held at the Washington Hilton. We're going to also look at some of the things we discussed last Sunday that pertains to what we just experienced. This is like a real-time perception point happening that we just experienced over the last few hours. So we're going to look at that. And I hope you guys are aware, if this isn't confirmation, that you're connected to the right prophet, connected to the right prophetic community, connected to a futurist, a deconstructionist, a discerner of times and seasons. I don't know what is, because this is our month talking about perception, deception, and getting your information correct, and the smoke and mirrors and the deception that is in the data that has been brought to us. It's not really the reality. And this has been a conversation for a while, but this is the month where we're discussing this. And this month has been loaded with one lie after the next in the media by our administration. And today, Uranus goes into Gemini. Our president is a Gemini, and it's happening at the same time. Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune and Saturn is in Aries. This is a concoction that is perfection for the perverse and also for what is not true to run much faster than what is actually the truth. And so this is the first day of Gemini distortion and Gemini deception. Now, we've already been in the energy of it. We've seen it. But the heavens mark today as the day that we enter into a Gemini distortion and a perception deception era that will last for 7 years. Yes, that's correct. This perception deception will last 7 years. And in that 7-year period, there are certain things that will be happening. And we know that by looking at the past. And see, this is the thing about astrology that people miss. Now, of course, Western and European Christianity just damns mysticism, astrology, numerology, and those things. But on the back end, all of them, all the way up to the Pope, practice it and worship before Black people, because they understand that Black people is the divine intelligence, the melanin that is in our being, that is exemplified and reflected in our skin tone, is actually something that only Black people have. And they know and they understand our technologies to be necessary to win and to prevail. And so they demonized it through religion, entertainment, and then they use it on the back end and tell you not to through your faith. Well, we have deconstructed and decolonized our faith, and we're back to the way that Christianity was practiced in Africa, particularly Ethiopia, that had all of its influences from Kemet and had all of its influences from the Yoruba and from the Ifa and from all of the different African spiritual systems and practices and religions all meshed into it. And so the earliest Christians, the earliest state religion Christianity that we have was in Ethiopia. And the way that that was practiced, of course, King Ezra, I think that's the way you say his name, was influenced by Phoenicians, who actually have been impacted because he was in the trade in northern Africa, which is where the apostles preached Jesus. And so he began to confer with the king, who then made it an official religion. That's right, Christianity, as far as being organized as a religion by the state or any empire, happened in Africa first. That was before it even went into Europe. So that version of Christianity is, if I ascribe to any version, it's African Christianity. And that Christianity says to look at the heavens, look to the angels, honor the ancestors, look at the numbers and the colors, work with the earth when it comes to your prayers, and make a thing be accelerated and happen through acts of faith with the earth and the water and the fire. All of that is in that version of Christianity. And that version that I ascribe to. And I ascribe to it and its book that predates the King James Version by 800 to 1,000 years, which is the most complete Bible that we have. I ascribe to that, but understand this. I don't read that Bible making the same mistake that many make reading the King James Version of the Bible, taking it literally. I don't do that. No. And I do not practice African Christianity under the assumption that this version of Christianity has no empire or no system influence in it. I know better than that as well. So I hope that you can go with us on this journey of conversation surrounding the deception that is happening in many people's perception by way of the White House, the church house, and the playhouse. The playhouse being the whole world gamut, sports and everything of entertainment. Through these things, including your food, are we deceived? And it is my job, and many of you job, to make sure people are awake and they're not slipping into this sleep that happens with your eyes open and your mouth wide open. Don't want that to happen to you. So let's begin to let's start off with the White House videos, and then we're going to go and circle back and grab our perception deception teaching. We're going to refer to last week a little bit and go over that 7-step perception deception detection. Perception deception detection is 7 steps that can help you deal with this information war that we're now entering in officially on today, April the 26th, 2026, and is also my youngest daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Zoe, if you are watching. I did text you and tell you I'm about to be on. All right, so we're going to go ahead on and look at this video. Are you all ready? Make sure everybody hit like and share with everybody. In just a few minutes, I'm going to give you an opportunity to call. Mind you, this is Larry Live, but it's also our Sunday morning coaching and prophecy and prayer call, our session. So we're going to be tithing. We're going to be seeding. We're going to be doing perception, seeds, and we're going to be giving in just a little bit. So I want you to look at this before you leave, because I know you're going to enjoy this. Before you leave, look at these different levels that you're able to donate tax-free, and look at the 8s and the 4s. We practice numerology here, 8 means prosperity. 3/8 is literally the name of Christ. So when you're sowing a multiplicity of 3/8 or more, you are confirming, declaring Christ consciousness in your life to where you behave like him, think like him, you show up in the earth as him, which is, when you think Jesus, think justice. Yes, when you think Jesus, think justice. So when you hear people say Jesus, 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 but then there's no justice in their action, they don't stand for black. Black is a political stance. Black is the color of all of humanity. Black is a spiritual stance. Black is a frequency. It is a signal that broadcasts in the universe that is created from which everything comes. So when you hear somebody mentioning Jesus and there ain't no justice in that, that is the white skin, blue-eyed, long hair Jesus, the mascot of Western European Christianity. It's not the real Jesus. Okay. The real Jesus, kinky hair, darker skin, and sometimes he probably would have rocked it in cornrows. Yes, I want you to look at this. 4480, everybody can participate with that. And you'll be able to do that. If you say, okay, Larry, I gotta go, I want to do it right now. Well, these are the ways you can do it. There's a link in the chat. A link in the chat. It's a Stripe link because we're global and our people are all over the world. So we only use Stripe for everybody around the world. If you want to do Taruma or do that 4488C now, or Zelle. If you're in America, you can do Zelle. These are the ways. But it's not time to do that right now. You just choose now, and we'll get back to that in just a few minutes. All right, so make sure everybody hit like right now. If you're on YouTube, hit like. If you're on Facebook, hit like. I only see 17 of you hit like on Facebook. Y'all real raggedy over there. I don't know who your pastor is. But make sure you go ahead and hit like, and we're about to watch. I think I got 2 videos from this whole happening at the White House. Yeah, exactly. Jesus looked more like me, T. Gatlin, than they do y'all. And when we say y'all, we're talking about our white brothers and sisters. Yeah. Right. He looks more like me. Well, he did look more like me. Yeah. You hear Tay giving y'all instructions. Say, hold your giving. And actually, we're doing seed sowing. Hold your giving unless you got to tip out, right? If you got to tip out, okay? If you got to tip out, just put in the chat. This is what I gave at this level. Put in the chat. We start, and I'm going to recognize before I get off. I just want to tell you, thank you, Cole. I've been raised right. Okay. All right. So take a moment and hit like. Okay, I see 10 of you on Facebook. More of you hit like. Thank you for doing that. And realize this is a special broadcast. It's somewhat exclusive because we're doing it on the main platform, but this is normally what we do behind the scene. Okay? While y'all hit like, I'm going to pray just a little bit. Right now, we begin to align with the mind of God. And in this moment, the Spirit of God is filling our mind and our heart up even the more. And the atmosphere around us is charged now with the powers of God. And the presence of God enters our consciousness, and the conversation that we have in this moment, it causes awareness and wisdom to crystallize in our consciousness. And as a result, this week, we walk with a sensitivity to the truth, a sensitivity to what is proper. Our eyes are anointed to see through deception, and we're able to make the correction in areas that have been a little bit cloudy in our perception, and we've not been able to see the root adjustment. But now, this week, we walk in the powers of God to bring divine adjustment and correction, and we're able to see through the deception, the smoke and mirrors, and our sight is heightened. Our sensitivity is deepened, and as a result, we know what we need to know. The prophetic spirit in us is increased in this moment for the next 7 days, and we're able to see what we have not seen. We pick up what we have not picked up. We discern a thing at the root, and as a result, we are able to make masterful moves that bring us into prosperity, protection, and clarity. I speak and declare that me and you are clearer than we ever been before. And as a result, we are able to access wisdom's information and opportunities that have been closed off to us prior to now. This week, we see it. This week, we do it. This week, we apprehend it. We get it. The opportunity is ours. It fall in our lap. We have a yes where there was a no, an approval where there was a no. Access has been granted unto us. We're not on the outside of it. We're on the inside of it. We have insight, through sight, round sight, oversight, and undersight, sevenfold sight. I declare in your life and in my life so that we can have proper perception in the midst of deception. I say that you and I have a special anointing from God to walk the next 7 years in truth and in clarity, not deceived by what's happening in our world. The news shop to us, the data show to us. We are out of the matrix in our appetite, out of the matrix in our thinking, out of the matrix in our belief system. We receive the anointings of deconstruction and decolonization that calls us to get into the divine intelligence, the mind of the creator and the source of all things, that is not Christian, that is not Jewish, that is not Muslim. I declare and I decree that we go into a deep relationship with Father God, Mother God, Christ consciousness, the awareness called God, the concept called God, the intelligence called God. I speak and I say that we are all coming more and more and more into the realities that God revealed unto us. I say the spirit world is getting clear to us, and we're able to discern and detect and know that thing that has hidden from us. We command it to come into the show, and we see it and we receive it. In Jesus' name, I say that each and every one of us are beginning to understand what we have not understood before. And all the week long, our personal devotion and prayer time has been invaded with the fires of God. The angels of our assignment are visiting us, and we know them by name. And it happens while we sleep, while we pray, all week long. We walk with God and God with us. In us, in us as himself, herself, fleshing themselves out through us, manifesting good, vibrating Christ everywhere we go. And it's so in Jesus' name, I say, aho and amen. All right, put my gum back in my mouth. It's a caffeine gum that helps me stay awake when I want to go to sleep. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. Let's go ahead and look at all of this, okay? So on the outside, imagine this, you're at the hotel. If the president is there, then I'm pretty sure the whole area around the hotel, my ex-girlfriend father was a part of the Secret Service. So this is where this is coming from. And also my ex-wife was in the military and intelligence. So that, along with my knowledge, is talking now. So I will presume that the entire block around the hotel, a perimeter has been set, and they have already swept everything. That's what I think. That's what I know happened. That's called a security bubble. So they've already done this. So whoever this person is, and I know information is probably coming out while I'm talking and probably did overnight. Whoever this is breached the security bubble and was actually inside of the security bubble, probably a part of security or some authority or enforcement team already apart and have melted themselves into that. That's the only way this could happen. So our minds have to wrap around that first. And then this footage that I just received showed me what happened. And I'm about to show you. What happened was this man ran through the metal detector. I guess that's right outside the ballroom. And he headed towards the White House dinner where thousands of people were. This is for the correspondents. And so all of those correspondents were there. Basically, the Trump administration. Sit with that. Basically, the Trump administration was all in the room. And a shooter wanted to make a statement. And I believe that the shooter wanted to at least get a few bodies, because whatever he had to go through to get inside this security bubble, I'm sure was tedious, and it took having a relationship or two. So he couldn't have been acting 100% alone. Something or someone had to soften the perimeter to where he could breach. And so let's look at him running into the White House correspondent dinner.
And he just went by. It looked like he checked it twice.
Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this area?
Very good, Joe.
Go for
Shall I post it as soon as he passed down that?
18.
All right, let's watch again.
He just went by. It looked like he checked it twice.
Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this area?
Very good, Joe.
Go for
All right. Okay, so we got that. I see what some of you guys are saying, and there's nothing wrong with that. But remember, in the perception deception teaching from last week, there's 7 steps. We're going to go over it because I see some of the people online are already doing what the perception deception 7-step detection said not to do. We're never supposed to make a emphatic conclusion without making sure we've done all of the work at perception. Perception deals with data collection. Perception deals with weighing all that is coming in. Now, the feeling you get that this is off. How many of you got that feeling that this is off? Something is off. Okay, register that feeling, but you can't let the feeling alone then begin to be the truth. You have to acknowledge your feeling, but still continue to data collect, and do not feel like you must come to a conclusion before you've done all of the other work first. And that is important. And as I mentioned last week when I began to talk to you about how the spirit world interacts with us and what's actually in the spirit world. So that feeling of something is off is your spirit picking up something that's in the spirit world. And remember, in the spirit world ain't just angels, demons, and ancestors in the spirit world and other spiritual beings, but there's also people's intentions, people's desires, what they want and what they're thinking is all in that space. Because the spirit world ain't up there, it's right here in the in-between, running alongside, co-located with everything that is happening. So that feeling that you got is your spirit picking up something that's in the spirit. That can be somebody's intention, can be a conversation, or just the overall deception of the media, the deception of our Gemini, toxic version Gemini, unprocessed, undealt with Gemini that is in the presidential seat. All of that can be giving you that feeling. It can be a conversation around how this media is going to be presented. And you're picking up something feels off. So you can't make a conclusion yet. You're data collecting from the video, from your research online. You can't listen to one news outlet. You have to look and find what's been said independently through the journalists and the commentators, because everybody's getting information, while holding and acknowledging this feeling of something off before you start putting doubt on everything, because this gets you into the deception. So I'm trying to show you how I discern. And if you look at my track record, even when the Bishop Whitehead that said that was staged, so many other things, the staging of the shooting of the president, they said that was staged. I said, no, it's not. I said, the story and the narrative around this stuff is what's untrue. And then how they take a real happening and then use it to play in your perception. And if you do not learn how to do this, you're going to be easily controlled and influenced by media and headlines. Perception deception is real. And America is a propaganda masterful machine. And you won't see it coming, except that you're practicing sight. Sight and seeing has to become your practice. I repeat, sight and seeing has to become your practice. It should be a part of your daily prayers and affirmation over your sight and over your seeing, especially over the next 7 years, because we go into a veiled reality to where we're being told one thing because of a real thing that is happening. It's not about, in a epoch like this, the 7-year period, we can call it that, we cannot, up under any circumstances, trust what we're told. Because what we are told is more important than the facts to those that are attempting to deceive us. Because they want to control narratives. And you can't let your consciousness, your mind, your thinking be intoxicated with the overwhelming of information, because that's the way that they achieve the deception. It's through overwhelming your nervous system, overwhelming your feelings with headlines, saying one thing in the evening, another thing the next day at noon. All of that is part of getting you soft enough to be deceived. Hear what I'm saying? It's the same thing that the narcissists do when they love bomb. The love bombing is part of the process to get you under their control. So the information overwhelm is part of the process of deception. Hear what I say. All right, so let's look at this video again. And then we're going to look at what happened inside.
Shall I post it as soon as he passed down that?
18, go for
All right, hold on.
It looked like he checked it twice.
Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this area?
Here it comes up.
Go for that.
Shall I post it as soon as he passed down that?
18, go for
Inside. We're going to watch that second video a few more times. There's a few things I see in it, and we're going to discuss it. The video reveals from inside this White House correspondent dinner that not only is this administration stupid, but they're also sloppy and they are disorganized. They look juvenile, and we see the problem. Immediately, we see there was no protocol. Nobody was informed on how to react and respond to a crisis situation. And the majority of his administration was in the room. Absolutely ridiculous. Jumping on the president, getting him to the floor for a safe removal, I do remember that being protocol. Quickly, they removed J.D. Vance out of harm's way before they even removed the president. I don't know if that means anything, but to me it does. And women were fully ignored and were not brought to safety, which is telling and should be expected from this administration. What did you see when you saw the video? Did you watch it over and over? That's what you got to do when you're in an epoch of deception, Uranus in Gemini as of this moment today. They said the shooter was killed. Then the shooter is alive. Then the shooter goes from white to black and now to brown. Within hours, all of this conflicting information, and then it was called an assassination attempt on the president for the fourth time. I don't know if it's improper to call it that, but it didn't feel like that to me, being that the shooter couldn't even get that close, but it sounds good for narrative shaping. Ladies and gentlemen, if they will lie about what we're able to see, guess, can you imagine how much lying they're doing about the stuff we don't see? This administration got a lying spirit. The old saints used to say lie like. Say, why you call him lie like? Because he lie like somebody ain't never seen before. This administration, lie like, is the lyingest, most deceptive administration that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And you should not easily believe a thing. And at the same time, you shouldn't quickly call a thing anything. You should just sit in a space that is unbiased. Remember, top of the teaching, the Spirit said, sit in observation and be in observation mode. That is the safest posture for the possibility of perceiving without deception. It's just observe it and just pay attention. Now, let me tell you how perception works. The first thing that happens is something happens or something is encountered. We call that the contact. This is where you get very intentional around your observation and you take notice. You cannot discern what you refuse to notice. So it's the first thing. Then the next thing, you check and body scan your nervous system and your spirit to see if anything registered. And for many of you, says something feels off. And just pay attention to the body. Because remember, before you can explain it and name it, the body knows it. Your body picks it up before you're able to explain or name. Third step is the filtering. Now, this is where you begin to go into your own personal beliefs that can shape how you're seeing and what you're seeing. Remember, the brain is the master filterer. It allows you to see certain things and certain things it don't want you to see because the brain is looking for the same. So then to give you reality. That's how come when you go and buy that car, now you see that car everywhere because you exposed your brain to something that wasn't the same. And now the brain is doing the work of looking for the same. That's what the brain does. And it filters. So this is where you get into your beliefs that could be filtering what you're seeing. If you already believe the administration is a lie, and I do, when you saw the shooter and the blood come from the president's ear, automatically it's like, okay, this is a setup. So you got to go into your beliefs, your wounds, your desire, your fears, your ego, past experiences, emotional state, and move all these things out of the way because you don't just see things, you see through things, through your beliefs, through your wounds, through your desires. So you got to be able to separate. And that's why prayer is so important, because prayer and meditation is like a personal filtering system for your spiritual wellness so that there won't be self-sabotage through not understanding the deeper aspects of the self. Because when your inner lens is wrong, that means you're using that lens to look outward. You don't just see things, you see through things. So this is why your personal wellness practice and routine and discipline and regimen is so important, because if that thing ain't proper, you're going to be looking at everything through wounds, desires, fears, theology, yours, your ego, versus just looking at it as it is. And then the fourth step is the interpretation. This is where the mind, the brain now, starts adding meaning. Sensing is one thing. Something feel off. This don't look right. But we just watched what happened. And I think with the conversation we had around it after we shared in the chat and myself, what we see, I think we probably all see accurately what happened outside and what we saw inside. But even with that, you guys, you still can explain it wrong, because this is the interpretation phase of the 7-step perception, deception, detection system. Ooh, you know that's hard for me, and I can't have talk anyway. So seeing it accurately is important, and explaining it properly is important, because you can see it accurately and still explain it wrong. Next thing, discernment. So by this time, you've already added meaning to it. Okay, I saw what happened. I hear what the headlines are saying. I hear what you're saying. But this is what I think, and this is what it means to me. So as by step number 5, we already have our meaning. Now we're going to test the meaning that we put on it, because that's what discernment is. Try the Spirit, by the Spirit to see. That's discernment. The process of discernment is actually a process of testing a thing. Where did this come from? Was this divine? Was this human? Was this ancestral, environmental? Is this a deceptive act? I think we can resolve at this moment that this is a real happening. It really happened. Men did this. This was not divine, because some will shape it this Sunday morning as an attack on the handpicked by God leader, and they will make it divine. But we have resolved it's not that. Some will say, okay, the ancestors that built the Hilton, that's them. Well, we just looked at this. It's not ancestral. It's not divine. It's not even well, wait a minute. Could have been environmental, because the energy that is in the world. Okay, it's environmental, it's human. You see what I'm doing? I'm discerning. Not everything you feel is spiritual. Some of it is psychological. So you got to start discerning what this is. We're looking at our meaning and we're testing the meaning. And now we're looking for confirmation, a witness. Kendall, what you see, what you feel, you're asking prophets, you're asking intercessors. Not just your feeling, but what patterns did you see, Kendall? Michael, what patterns did you see? Nathan, what pattern did you see here? Naida, what pattern did you see here? Did you use on this folder? What pattern did you see here, Shanae? And you start asking, because now you're in the confirmation, because your meaning now, you have set with your meaning and you discerned, and you probably have arrived at something. So now you're looking for external confirmation or other supporting facts that can literally send you back through the process if you find out a fact you didn't know. See, if the meaning that you done the discernment testing thing with, if it is true, then more than you will confirm it. Now, wait a minute, Larry. Yes, we have to get rid of this I seen, I saw, and you're the only one that saw it. That's how we end up with new religions, cults. That's how we end up with lots of error and whole denominations built on it by one person revelation. That's out the door, because that's how we got here. If it's the truth, it's going to be the truth to more than you. So that's what we do with step 6, confirmation. And then step number 7, which is the last one, is the response. This is the moment you say something. But see, social media got it where people quit to say the first thing on their head. And then you got people who go, I said this to Kendall yesterday up under a comment I made. Somebody made a statement and said, this doesn't apply for everybody. Then another person, let's say organically, made the same statement. This is nuance, Reid. This ain't true for everybody. The next 10 you see like that is not people's true thought. They saw those comments, and so they're making the same comments. We see that on the internet a lot. I know that because I observe human behavior. I've been on the internet for a while, so I know. If I want to change what the comments are, the only thing I have to do is go in there and delete those 10 comments. nobody comes saying the same thing again. They say something different. So you cannot be hung up on headlines, comment sections, likes, and engagement. If you don't have a science or strategy that you're working to sort of influence how the people that follow you move, looking at the organic way that humans behave on the internet, you don't need to give it a whole lot because it don't mean much. It's at this stage that you done did all of that work. Step number 7. This is where you act. This is where you speak. And this is where you decide. You gotta leave this reacting thing that is in our culture. Stop reacting to what you haven't tested. Stop reacting to what you haven't researched. Stop reacting to what you didn't put in ChatGPT looking for confirmation and information. Stop. There should be no reason now for wrong information. So whenever you see wrong information, it is the result of somebody's neglect or the result of somebody's intention. Because there's really no need for information to be wrong. This is the information age and technical age. There's no reason for that. So when you see that, it's intentional. Perception isn't just receiving. Perception is all of this. It's receiving, filtering, interpreting, testing, confirming, and then responding. This whole month, our theme has been the perception point. Now, I think with this that happened at the White House, on the very day when I explained to you guys, remember I said on or around, we have a perception point masterclass in reality now. All right? I want everybody to put in the chat, thanks God for eyes to see and ears to hear. Everybody put it in the chat. Please. Oof. All right, I'm about to get into the Uranus and Gemini. If you are watching and you have enjoyed and you got to leave and go to church, I want you to look at these different levels you can seed today. It's a donation, but we practice seed sowing. This it is an offering, but it's more than that. It's a donation, but it's more. We practice seed sowing. We're calling this seed the perception seed. We're planting the intention to perceive correctly into our future. Seed time harvest 4488. Everyone here can do that. Those of you that are going to do it at the $188.88 level or the $288.88 level, whichever one you can afford, whichever one that's at the proper level of your faith and finances, Shamaka is going to be contacting you, praying with you, and or giving you a prophetic word. And I want you, I wish we can run a video of all of the prophecies and what has came to pass. We may need to create that. I don't know if Mark or Soul is listening, but we need to create like a 45-second video of some of the prophecies, confirmations, predictions, even some of the more spectacular spiritual things that have happened because of prophecy. If you have not heard nothing from God, you need to see if you can go over there and say, no, I ain't gonna go out to eat this weekend. I'm taking $188.88 or $288.88, and I'm going to sow this perception seed that's going to help me, and I'm also going to get a phone call or a audio sent to me through text. And this is not an automated system, you guys. He sit there and do it. Now, those of you doing the $488.88, I'm going to send the prophetic word to you. That's going to come from me, and that can change your life. Okay? All right. So you decide in the chat right now, there's a link. For those of you that practice the teruma, meaning seeding and sustaining a profit, the teruma is over there on the left, and that link is in the chat. It's titled teruma. Make sure you pay attention to where you don't send your seed to the teruma and your teruma to MBN Global. Look in the chat right now and go ahead. It's 9:15, so go ahead on now and let's begin to sow our seed. Many of you are this is going to be your worship. Thanks God for what I've heard today and what was revealed. That was a nugget. There was a phrase, something I already said that Spirit put in my mouth just for your ears to hear. This is the moment where you begin to say thank you at whatever level of your faith and finances. And if you say, I want to do 44.88, but it's a bad week, do 24.88. Well, I'm gonna do 44.88, but it's not a sacrifice for me. I can do that easy. I'm just throwing money. No, don't do that. It needs to be a sacrifice. It needs to be intentional. So push it up, maybe to 88.88. I don't know where you 108.88. But make sure it's a sacrifice for you, that you can feel it. And then wrap your intention, your desire. Yes, money gonna come back to you, but that intention that's on that seed. Seed goes in the ground, it passed through time. Seed goes in the ground, it passed through time, and then there's a harvest. So make sure you're sowing that money. Money gonna come back to you along with an intention, and that's gonna come back to you. This is not a Christian exercise. This is older than every religion. The idea of tithing, the idea of seed sowing, older than all religions. So this is a high spiritual principle. This isn't just giving. This isn't just donating. And there are laws, the law of reciprocity that's tied to those things. But seed sowing is a sacred art. Okay? It's a holy art. And it's a practice that we embrace as a spiritual community. All right. I see some of you doing $488.88. So that means you're going to hear from me this week. All right. Okay. So let us know in the chat what you have donated and the amount. Kendall's going to star it. And by the time I get off, I'm going to be recognizing and telling you thank you as I should. And for those of you that donate after this live, it's going to be posted in Patreon that you did. I'll see it. And let me go ahead and give you my thank you in advance. I won't see it in real time, but thank you. And you will be hearing from us. Okay. So let me go. While you're doing that, leave an ear open for me because I got to talk a little astrology right quick. And I'm going to talk a little history. Okay, so today, April the 26th, 2026, I told y'all last year about this date. Uranus, that planet just moved into Gemini. Let's look at what that planet represents. Uranus symbolizes innovation, rebellion, and sudden change, influencing how you express individually, break conventions, and respond to what? Unexpected events. What just happened was an unexpected event. What happened February the 27th or 28th, depends on where you were living, when Israel and America dropped that bomb on those children, killing 100 and something people in Iran. Unexpected event. And that event we knew was going to be happening on or around February the 20th because the heavens said so. If you were watching here, you already knew. So when it occurred, like, there that is. That's Neptune and Saturn and Pluto, that world point at Aries, 0 degree, that's initiating a global reset. So every last one of you that are listening to me, it doesn't matter what you believe, because Uranus is in Gemini and it's going to do what it do in spite of you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay? The moment Uranus goes into Gemini, which just happened right now, Uranus going into Gemini, Uranus is going to represent disruption. Uranus in Gemini is going to represent shock. Uranus in Gemini is going to represent an awakening. Uranus in Gemini right now is also going to represent exposure. Now, we know it stays in this for 7 years. This is 2026, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Wait a minute, Reid. Didn't you tell us in 24 that Pluto was going into a 20-year posture of Aquarius? You told us all the things that happened the last time that happened. And you said the first 10 years is like everything getting blown up, torn up. And the last 10 years is when we start going into the Renaissance phase. So that's another overlay, you guys. Because Pluto already is war. It already is tensions. The bottom side becomes the top side. What was buried comes up. People feel the need to tell their story or tell their lie. What was in deception, the cover gets pulled on it. Now we have Uranus in Gemini at this time. It's going to symbolize exposure. So there's another level of exposure that just entered into our planet. When we first went into exposure, we heard the whole case, TD Jakes, P. Diddy. We had all this stuff that was in the energy of 24 as Pluto went into Aquarius. That same year, I had more people saying stuff about me online, seemed like that year, than I did out of the whole 6 years. Now we're in the 7th year of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the heavens tell not just of God's glory. I mean, because when you study the heavens and the space and the planets and the galaxies, and it's like, oh my God. And you can't help but to know that there is a divine intelligence that is just masterful. But not only do the heavens tell God's glory, they also tell our story. And so you're going to see this happen. It's not a matter of if, oh no, it's going to happen. We're already in it. Uranus is going to exemplify, explain, and reveal disruption, shock, awakening, and exposure. It's another layer already on top of what we got from this world point with Neptune and Saturn on February the 20th, and then Pluto coming into 24, going into Aquarius. Gemini, in the sign of Gemini, we know Gemini and all Geminis are excellent communicators. I think I may have Gemini flyer in here. No. no. No, I don't have it. Oh well, oh hell. But Gemini symbolizes communication, media. Oh. So the reason why this president, even when he ain't in office, before he even thought about doing politics, well, I can't say that because I don't know when he first thought about it, all the way back to the 80s rappers, this man has been kissed by media. Why? Because he's a Gemini. Gemini is communication. Love him or hate him, Trump is a masterful, manipulative communicator. Media. Fired. You're fired. High rating show. Most viewed president in history. Information. Gemini deals with information. And you know Gemini's shadow side. Gemini is going to be either terribly truthful to the point where they tell too much of their business, or they're going to be liars. I mean, of the worst kind. So when I say Gemini information, you also got to remember misinformation. You also got to remember how information is put out. Gemini represents intelligence systems, language. Gemini represents perception itself. Uranus just entered Gemini today. So what's the translation? What are you saying is going to happen, Larry? Disruption is now hitting how people think, speak, process, and believe. The battlefield is no longer the physical. It is the informational, the narrative, and the perception. That's where the battlefield is. The war is not just on land, it's in language. Information is now the weapon. Perception is the battlefield. What you believe will matter more than what is happening. Confusion will be engineered. So now we see that what we have been teaching all month is not a coincidence. It was preparation. Spirit trained our eye before we were exposed to this. So our eye is prepared. Perception Point. This is the last day of the Perception Point. The Perception Point series was not just a series. It was a preparative survival system for your sight. And those of you who have not been working at the Perception Point and training your perception, you're going to be more prone to be led by Gemini distortion. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now, the last time Uranus entered Gemini, and remember, it's not leaving to 2033. This 7-year shift in how humanity thinks, communicates, and processes reality. See, what's going to happen while this Gemini distortion and this playing in our perception is happening, we're going to be honing our sensing, and discerning faculties. This is going to make us think on a higher level, which prepares us for the future that is coming. So all this works together for the good of those of us who are the called according to his purpose and love ourselves as deep as we love him. So the last time this happened, 7-year period, was 1941 to 1948-49. Let's look at what happened in that window in the world. Those were the peak years of World War II. They're not going to tell you guys this, but we're already in World War III. World War will not look the way that it looked in 1 and 2. We are in an information war, a chemical war, a psychological war, a financial war, an energy war, a money war, so many wars all at the same time, a cyber war. We're in massive global war, conflict. And the powers that be, we're starting to hear from Russia, China, BRICS, choosing of sides, NATO, G7, IMF, World Bank. What is happening? Massive global conflict. I told you some years ago and made plain about a year ago. Seismic global shift, and no one is safe from it. So in 1941, there was massive global conflict. Intelligence, communication, and strategy were critical during that time. If you didn't have the right information, you didn't survive. Codes, signaling, messaging. These are the tools of warfare. That same time, Pearl Harbor attack was sudden, shocking, and it pulled the U.S. into war overnight. Israel pulled us into war overnight. We say Israel, but online they're starting to say is not real versus Israel. It's not real. And I think it's fitting because the idea that most people have about Israel being God's people and Israel being a place is not real. It's made up. Biblically, Israel was a man and his descendants. Was never a place. And I saw somebody using the state Israel, that is a project, as confirmation of the Christian faith and the existence of Jesus and certain places that were in the Bible. You can go there and see. Okay, now, do you think that what they constructed and made confirms something that is allegedly written many years prior? Yeah, it won't call Israel then. It was called the land of Palestine and da. Okay, so, all right, hold on. So we got some of the same stones, the same everything from thousands of years ago, but we don't have some of the stuff from just a couple of 100 years ago. And you want me to believe it? Okay, well, you believe that. If it helps your faith, you just enjoy that. I got a little judgment on it, but I'm being nice about it. You know, you are free to believe as you believe. I just choose not to believe that. If you want to believe in it works for you, make you a better person, it makes you love people, then you need to believe it. But I don't need to. It's not real. Poured us into war overnight. Same thing happened when Uranus was in Gemini. And see, that's what astrology is all about, looking at patterns. Just patterns. The Manhattan Project was going on during those years. Secret intelligence operations, science plus informational breakthrough led to atomic bombs. That is the weaponization of knowledge and technology and science. Y'all, we're in that. They're using AI to win cases. Man says, I don't have no money to pay my ex-wife in divorce court. And then the opposing counsel subpoenas the man's chat GPT. And it shows him searching, how can I hide money? And now AI has been used to catch people in their fraud. Knowledge weaponized. Information turned into power. Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. The war ended with technical force. It changed global power structures permanently. What we'll see happening now with the Strait of Hormuz. This is affecting the global power structure. And Iran is beginning to be seen now as a world power alongside of China, America, Israel, Russia. Who knew that if they shut down that strait, we would go to the gas station? I went yesterday. Day before yesterday I went. And it was $100 and something odd dollars. And I won't even own E. My light hadn't turned on yet. $5 and something a gallon for premium. The hell? Just because they said ain't no ship going through here. And that affect me way over here in Atlanta. Global power. Masters at asymmetrical war is what we're learning about Iran. And y'all, let me just sidestep here. We were already in a war, a trade war. We were already in war corporately. About 300,000 black women lost their job and 200,000 white men got new ones. All of this is on top of this. Elections stolen, lines redrawn to get more seats. We already had this happening in our country. And now this war has sort of distracted so many from the war that has already happened. Is there going to be war on America's soil? The answer is yes, and it's already happening. You're thinking with the mind of yesteryear, a bomb being shot from Iran here. No, they're in our system already, not just them, but Russia and China, influencing our algorithms, influencing how we think. They have hijacked America for everything that is good, which is the black culture, black food, black music. Now we as artists are in China and in Russia and in all these other places in the UK singing our songs and they look like us and have embraced our culture. The only thing America got that is good is black. Outside of that, America don't have a culture. What y'all got? Picnics and tailgates? And now other cultures, now Americans are looking at China and like, wow, y'all more advanced. Looking at Dubai, wow, y'all are more advanced. Your skincare is good. Look at your skin and your hair. Oh my God, how did y'all get that? I want to go to India and see the ladies with the bellies. Now, that's a whole thing. That culture now is heavy in America. Americans developing a palate for the Caribbean and their culture, Brazil and their culture, them amazingly colorful outfits that they have, Africa and its culture. Now Afro beats is more important than R&B, gospel, rock. Y'all, the power has already shifted. And the cultures of the world are now outrunning and in some instances competing with America, our music industry, and our movie industry. Now you got these movies like Rich Asians, a whole Asian movie. This wasn't happening when I was younger. Y'all, it has already shifted. We're in our 250th year. 1 or 2 years around the 250 year, every empire prior to now has collapsed and lost power. But understand what that means. That means that they're no longer the superpower. They just become one of the powers. And that's what we're experiencing right now. BRICS has taken the power. And America don't know how to handle being second. America is a cancer, so it's terribly emotional and very emotional about home base and keeping home safe. And America's shadow side of the cancer is to be controlling. It is to be emotionally manipulative. And we're seeing the shadow side of America, the cancer, showing up. And when the cancer moves in its shadow, it becomes a cancer to everybody and everything. And America was just referred to as a cancer, a disease on our planet by world power this week. The last time Uranus went into Gemini, we had the Cold War, espionage, intelligence wars, propaganda battles. Ain't that what's happening now? It was information versus information. Ain't that what's happening right now? Narrative versus narrative. Ain't that what's happening right now? They had papers that was whole printed lies going out to the people during the Cold War. The Cold War began right after Uranus and Gemini in the 1940s. It was also the time that a certain kind, the first computers were developed, computing systems built. It was the beginning of digital intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. We are entering into a new age of intelligence called artificial. Been around for a while, but we're in a whole nother level of it. So this is the birth of a new digital age. 1940s, that same time period, was the beginning of the digital age. So war-driven intelligence, sudden global shifts, breakthrough technology, information being weaponized, propaganda and narrative control, all of this points to Uranus and Gemini, and it points to the time that we are in. Then it was radio codes, early computing, and physical war. Now it's internet, AI, social media, cyber warfare, psychological warfare. We are in World War III. We're in it. They're going to tell you we're not. There are going to be people that prophesy it's not going to happen. But you remember I told you we in it. Now prepare. Sharpen your weapon and sharpen your skills because you're about to find a new job. Hear me. Uranus in Gemini speaks of the change in the job market as well. There are certain jobs that are just not going to be around in 3 to 5 years. And if you work with a government contract, go ahead now and start planning the new way you're going to generate funds. Hopefully you have another 2 or 3 years getting that check. You need to be turning that check that you know you may get for the next 12 to 36 months and start planning to live your life in another country. Those of you that got severance packages because you just been let go and you never had $100,000 all at one time, that's your money to move because it's going to run out. If you take a couple needed and deserving vacations and then continue to pay that mortgage, if you got one, that car note, if you got one, or rent or utilities, it's going to run out. And what you going to do then? Because it could be a year before you find a new job. That's pretty much been how it's been for those that lost their jobs last year. They're just now getting jobs because of that shift in the job market. And some of those jobs are a little less money than what it was before. And those that are getting the jobs got way more skills than those that lost the job. And if you're not working with AI in whatever job you got, you're going to be replaced by somebody who's working with AI. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but the patterns are like an echo. And we have to pay attention to what happened the last time Uranus was in Gemini. This rapid global tension, information confusion, technological acceleration, it's in Pluto too. All of that happened last time, and it's going to happen this time. A lot quicker. Back then it was slower. Everything is sped up now. Back then it got around the globe slower. Now it can happen in an instant. What just happened a little ago is now being broadcast a world away. And we're all participating, all of us. I don't be on the internet like that, but you read every headline. We're all participating in the broadcasting aspect of whatever is happening in our world. And with this perception point teaching, you should know how to go through that 7-step before you speak, before you respond, so that you're being a part of those that broadcast, because everybody's participating, those that broadcast truth and not feelings and biases. All of that from those years, them 40s, it trained the whole generation how to think. That generation, the one that tells you got to get a job, got to get a college degree, got to go to work. Well, that ain't the advice no more. But that comes from their experience, so that was their training. Most of our parents were born between the 1940s and 50s. And we have that program running on some level psychologically that we have to upgrade if we're going to be a fit for now and what's coming. So the last cycle trained humans how to think and machines how to think. And now humans are being trained how to think by way of machines, computer, software, intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are. If you heard something today that impacted you deeply right now, make sure that you decide how you want to tell me thank you, MBN Network thank you, what level, and then send it through Zelle or by hitting the link you see in the chat right now. The link that says MBN Global, that's where you put your 4488, 18888, 28888, 48888. The link that says Taruma, that's the way that you sustain a profit. A great deal of that makes up what goes to this community's profit every month. So participate, please. I'm going to ask 44 people to do $44.88. This is my ask. I'm going to ask 8 people to do high performer, 8 people to do stakeholder, and 8 people to do the supersede. That's my ask. That's my request. That is my desire. I prophesy that. I speak that. And may your heart and mind participate. Those that can participate with this. Now, let me say this. If you're watching and say, okay, Larry, I want to be coached by your community, the experts in your community. I want to be able to ask a question at any time of the day and an expert give me information, or someone that has a lived experience the way they can give me something about a lawyer, about a case, about divorce. I'm a single mom and I don't have friends. I don't have community. And I want to be in something. Well, as I said, patreon.com/Larry Live, but we pop up there a couple of times a week. And if you do that regularly, you probably end up getting into the MBN Network Global Partnership that has their own textable community. It happens in an encrypted, secret way. But then there are Celestial Circle members. And Celestial Circle members are connected to experts and my phone, millionaires, connected to experts and millionaires and people from all over the world with so much history in marriage and living and business. And this corporate chick thread. There's the authors. Yesterday they was talking about how to start your book, your writing. There's so many communities inside that community that can help you be the best for your community. And the way that you get into that is a one-time initial donation of $2,026. And I know how the economy is now. So the way we have it set up, if you go to mbnnetworkglobal.org and you click the Celestial Circle and sign up, you can split that up. We'll get it immediately as a donation, but you can split it up on your end and get into that community. And you probably can be in there as quick as a few days. You go through the process, then there's an orientation, and then you have access. That's going to be great for you. It's necessary. Times are only going to get worse, at least, and not start turning until about 2035-ish. And then that's when we start that tracking towards a renaissance. And remember, we possibly may see the brown woman or divine feminine, the woman leading, somewhere between 2038 and 2048, 44, in that window. Because we will not become our greatest until a woman leads us. Because the woman birthed us all. And in order for us to go to what's next, the woman has to take her place. So come over in the community where there are a whole lot of world-changing women. Go to mbnnetworkglobal.org, because that's going to be your seed this morning. You're going to hear from me as well. You're going to hear from me as well. Anybody do 48888 plus, you're going to hear from me. Whew. What an amazing, amazing teaching. And I want to honor those of you that you said I done scared you. Really? What? How, Kimberly? How did I scare you? I don't know. My purpose wasn't to scare nobody. My purpose was to educate and inform. At this time, go ahead in the chat and let me know how you have donated. I know we're on the main platform. Some of you don't want your name called. I got it. So don't put it in the chat. If you don't put it in the chat, I won't mention. But it's going to be posted by 5 p.m. tomorrow inside of Patreon. Everybody won't see it there. So I do know when I'm live. I heard from several of you. I said, I don't know if I want everybody to know when I'm donating. Because we got raggedy folk that be looking from the bushes and be hitting folk up asking for a $20 loan. It's a shame. I understand that. But I'm going to say this to those of you that don't want people to know. I think you should work through that, because you're keeping yourself from an opportunity to use your no. You're keeping yourself from an opportunity to say no, because that's empowering. No is very empowering. I would have to say no, I think is probably more personally empowering, depending on where you're at in your life, than a yes. No. So you're running from an opportunity to tell people no, and tell people that's none of your business. It also running from an opportunity of somebody said, oh, I didn't know that you were a partner with Larry Reid, the guy that does the show and talk about numerology and astrologists. So you with that mess? That keeps you from an opportunity to correct somebody's perception, not just about you, but also about your spirituality and your faith. That gives you an opportunity there. You'll never have to worry about fighting for me. Heaven do that. Okay, so let me take a moment and recognize those of you that have decided to participate. And all of you that participated last week at the Super C level, make sure that you have received your prophecy. We have on our end. So if you did it and you didn't hear from me this week, you didn't get an audio, something went wrong. Probably on your end. Contact Miss Pat at mbnglobal.org. Pat at mbnglobal.org. Email her and a picture of your donation and your phone number so we can get that done. I ain't gonna say we don't never make mistakes, but it's looking like most of the time when we hear from people from certain things, that it's always user error. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because it takes time to learn in the digital space with all of these apps and stuff that we have here. All right, I would like to thank DeQuincy Watkins. Make sure you start. I want 44 partners, 8 high performers, 8 stakeholders, and 8 superseders. And we're going to start doing that now. DeQuincy is one of the 44 partners. Thank you. And she done a Taruma. Thank you. Gingerbread, I ain't seen you. I just saw you the other day, so good to see you again. She participated at the partner level as well. And Nicole participated. Nicole, let me see. Nikki 2854, partner level as well. Stakeholder Priscilla Ayala, first stakeholder, 7 more needed. High performer, first high performer Christian Patton, 7 more needed. Another partner C, Letitia Murphy, thank you. Another partner C, Tam, thank you. Dashima, how are you doing? Haven't heard from you in about a week and a half. Supersede, first one, 7 more. Another partner C, Latina, thank you. Another partner C, Linda Pro, thank you. Oh, a second stakeholder. This needs 6 more. Thank you, Beverly Sweeten. Tamara, Supersede, great. I get to speak with you. That's the second one. We need 6 more, right? Farrell, how are you doing? Done a little bit more than the partner C. Thank you, Farrell. Mother Ivory, done a partner C. Thank you. Erica Counts, partner C. Thank you. Travis Patterson, partner C. Thank you. Mother Irene, 81 years old, the eldest in our community, has done a partner seed. And Taruma, thank you. Taruma, thank you, Kimberly. And Ty, so that puts you, for that type, that is, you're at the stakeholder level. So Kimberly Bill, stakeholder, thank you. Just need 5 more of them, right? All right, high performer, the Batsons, thank you. Regina Peacock, thank you for the Taruma. You didn't tell me the other thing. Oh, and Lucia Stan, you said perception sees song. I don't know what it is, but thank you. Make sure y'all let me know what it is, okay? Ophelia, hey Ophelia, how you doing? Thank you for that generous Taruma and partner seed. Dorothy Curtis, Taruma and partner seed, thank you. E.D. Applewhite, perception partner seed. E.D. Applewhite, you done 4488. I want you to consider 18888 so that you can get on the phone with Shamako. Just consider. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Maybe it's later or another day. But consider getting a phone because there's some instruction that's going to be coming out of that prophecy for you. I just sense that. Terrell Brown, partner seed. Thank you. And remember, you guys, this is our way of saying thank you for supporting. And these people that are on partner seeds, they're supporting, knowing nobody's going to call them and give them a prophetic word, nothing. They're just supporting this work and saying thank you. I want to say thank you for that. Rhonda, super seed. It's another one. So it's like 5 more left. All right. Thank you, Rhonda, for that. Sheba Makita, partner seed. Thank you. And Taruma. Taruma and partner seed for Bronda Foster. Thank you. Taruma and a little bit more than a partner seed, Sandra Dickens. Thank you. Janaea. Oh, wow. I get to speak to you prophetically. Super seed and Taruma. Thank you. Fola. Perception seed 2488. It's not partner, but it's still a seed. Thank you so much, Fola, and for your Taruma. Vanda. Partner and Taruma. Thank you so very much. Let me look in here. Stephen Clark, partner seed. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, is the MBN GPT app for Dream still available? Be downloaded because I don't see it in the Play Store. Okay, no, it was never in the Play Store. It's a link. Here's the link right here. If you got Chat GPT, the app, once you click on that link, it's going to integrate and show up as the Dream Guide. It will always stay in your Chat GPT. It integrates with that. Not just that, but also the prayer deconstruction Chat GPT as well. Tiffany McCormick. God bless you and your wife and your children. Tell everybody I say hello. High performer and Taruma. Thank you, Tiffany. Wow, another high performer, Sandrine Zakina Case. Oh, you good. So Shamako going to call you, and Shamako's had a cake business for years and still have it. So that's great. He's going to be contacting you and speaking with you the prophetic word. And Taruma, thank you for the Taruma as well. All right. It's 10:02. We started late, but it's been about 2 hours, and I want to keep my word. Thank all of you for watching, for hitting like, for sharing, for donating, supporting. Please listen to it again, become a student of this, and then turn around and teach it. You ain't got to call my name. If I receive your Taruma and you are committed to what we do, you can just say it like it's your revelation. Let me be your secret in your back pocket. That's my work, and that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be sustained by those that I minister to and will be rich and wealthy doing it. And those people I help, they end up becoming way more popular than me. So although it looks like I'm the popular and most known one, check back in 5 years. There are people that you know right now who are more popular than me, and I'm their personal prophet. So I know that's part of my calling, and my ego don't care at all. What matters more to me is that you know what I know and then some. that you're able to do what I do and then some. That is what matters. And you do it in your industry, in your way. It might not be the way I do it, but in your industry, you do it in a way that is exceptional. Shonda Gray, thank you so very much for the high performer seed. How many more we need there? Just 3 more high performers. All right. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for letting them know, Tiffany. Super seed. Lisa Parks. It's been a while since I was able to speak to you prophetically. I'm going to enjoy that. Another super seed. How many super seeds we need now? Just need 3 more of those. Another partner seed, Florine Jones. How many more partner seeds we need? We need 22 more. That's a master number. 22 more partner seeds. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. You're welcome, Renee. My pleasure. This teaching definitely made me think and question some things about how I process information. That's the whole point. You're going to make me happy. I'm going to log off and eat a lot. I'm so happy. You know, I eat if I'm upset. I eat if I'm mad. I eat if I'm sad. I eat if I'm happy. Shoot, I eat when I'm numb, don't feel nothing, so that I can feel something. Thank you. High performer, Joy, and Lachey. I love y'all. My spiritual daughters. It's another high performer. We need 2 more of them, and our goal is met there. I love you too, Rashida. Love you and your husband. I'm back to nibbling. Do I look like it yet? I may not lose it in my face because of Botox, because I found out that was the problem I didn't do last time. When I got down to 173 and all this got real skinny, I should have done Botox to keep my face the right size. But I done it this time. But I'm losing weight. The fat is leaving me. Look, y'all can't tell? Look at the fat leaving my arms. I'm going to do the thing. I'm the 48 is 50. I'm going to have my best body ever. I speak it and it is so. Thank you, Rashida, and you and your husband. Y'all don't know, but online they say Rashida's husband is my boyfriend. I know y'all didn't know nothing about it. Look at Kendall's face. It was said. It was said. Look, Rashida actually sits on our board, the board of directors. They said I done that calls her husband. Now, mind you, I only have text and exchange with. We ain't been in the same place by ourselves. You know what? It's the Granville. You know what Granville said? He said, I didn't know that I was supposed to be boyfriend, so I'm be letting you know how much money I want every month sent to me. Oh my God. You got to learn to love the lies. I'm talking about when they lie on you. You got to learn to love the lies. So you can just disappear all of the energy that you're trying to run from by ignoring it. No. You got to learn to sit with that stuff and then come to a vibration higher to where you love the lies. Yeah. I ain't lying. Grandpa, tell him in the chat, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. I seen it with my own eyes. I said, well, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Miss Pat. You be seeing me when I be walking in your neighborhood. I love you too, baby. And do. I love that more than anything. That's right. They did spell my name right. They did. Shelly, thank you so very much. Partner C, add her and Taruma. Thank you. So we need how many more? 20? 19 more to do 4488, and we are at our goal. And I want to thank you for doing it because I know you will. Absolutely, Tay. Look, Mother Irene said they need a life. Learn to love the life. How are you doing, Mr. Cooks? I want to know what you're doing in your stocks right now, because you were pretty good with that back there doing the what was that stock that we all started with? EXPI, was that what it was? And then I had a vision about McDonald's. We invested, that went up. And then I had that vision about Pfizer. And that went up. Those people made millionaires through those stocks. That was during pandemic. We had a great time. Great time. Thank you, Amanda Partner Seed. Thank you. How many more we need now? 18? Oh, already counted that. Okay, 19 still. You on the floor. Grandpa said he did share it with me. Mm-hmm. Take brain power to make stuff up, do something else. But the thing, baby, is online you get paid to lie. So I get it. I know Michael keep us eating something. When you show up as the who you are meant to be in the area that you are called to be in, the lie has no power, nor does it cause one to sway from the destiny that is calling to them. All right, Grandpa, you are the community scribe. Lying is lucrative. So you might as well learn to love the lies. Now, they're not going to be able to do this. I already seen this. That whole industry that lie and make money off of lying, that's going away. And me shifting out of that should have been a sign to those of you that watch me, have seen me be ahead of the curve and in the future. You need to start changing your commentary or you're going to be broke, because that is going to be weeded out. It will not be a part of entertainment industry. It won't Pfizer, excuse me, it was Moderna. Sorry. So glad I got people that remember. You are exactly right. It was Moderna. Market it is well. Keep cash on the side. I'm good. Recover from unexpected 35-day hospital. The blood. Jeesh. Okay. Got it. We know exactly how to pray. And this can be when people, somebody say, pray for me. We know what that means. That means send a whole lot of words that are filled with creative intentionality that causes good to happen on that person's behalf. It's not begging God for me. When people say pray for me, they typically mean beg God for me. When people say pray for me, they literally mean beg God on my behalf. It is an atrocious, hideous, and hazardous and dangerous thing to do to the psyche, is to tell someone to beg God. Do you know what that means? God is to you? Where you got to beg for good? Then he can't be good. If I got to beg for it, if I got to beg for God to bless me, if I got to beg for God to heal me, if I got to beg God to help my friend and my neighbor, and then I got to get other beggars, I'm saying, pray for me, pray for me. Basically, I'm saying, beg for me. I don't serve that God. I don't ascribe to that God. If it works for you, makes you good, makes you do good to others, fine. Continue to do that. But for me, I found another God that is not Jewish, that's not Christian, that's not Islamic. And he made everything. He's the creator and the maker of us all. He is the divine intelligence that is in us all. I serve him. And he is she. And he is they. They never said it like that, but that's the truth. He's God, she's God, they are God. Now in the church we said, he'll be a mother for the motherless, a father for the fatherless. But if I say God is she and her, oh, that's the devil. Well, then change all your songs. He can't be the lawyer in the courtroom and the doctor in the sick room. You just want him to be a white man that you got to beg for your provisions. You do that. I'm going to do what I do. That was probably a dope clip. Take my production mind just kicked in. Oh my God. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. Great. Very lucrative. Let me see. Thank you, Monica Quiones, for your perception seed and your teruma. I see it. Okay, great. Well, and you should be, baby. That's wise. That's spiritual wellness. Oh, I love that. Ooh, that's t-shirt. I create. I don't beg. I think we all need to put that in the chat as a declaration. Say it out your mouth. I create. I don't beg. I love that I can partner with one to cause the good meant to them to manifest in their lives. I refuse to beg any entity to do something that is deserving of those who show up and operate as good. Absolutely. So true. Begging indicates that what you are asking for is not in their nature to give. That is not my God and not how I pray anymore. If we've been at church, y'all would watch me quicken and all of that. Because that just so true. Begging means that it's not in his nature. That's what you're saying. That God is not love. But if it works for you, continue to enjoy. You love when I teach on this. Hey, that's my eldest daughter. Where my youngest? It's her birthday. Zoe's in the chat? Oh, whenever I was telling her happy birthday, she said something about it. Okay. That I create, don't beg. And then that Latina right behind that. Yeah. If that don't make it clear. Because if you start praying tonight and you're begging, you need to know right then that you need to flip it. Say, wait a minute, wait. Because I know what's in your nature for everything to be good. So let me just take on that mindset and say, David Cooks, your body is healed now. I send curative data, information, energy, and frequencies into your cells. And I declare curation, curative circumstances at the cellular level. That's how we pray. Yep. I create, don't beg. I create, don't beg. God bless you, Jazz. You're welcome. My pleasure. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. And it is so in Jesus' name, Ashe. As a community, we say Aho. Many of you are indigenous. And amen. All right. Bye. This was great. I request of prayer. The request of prayer is never specific and motives can be hidden most times. So I'm not participating in that. Say it again. What is that? I love that Granville is so smart and like that he's the teacher's pet and a base. Oh my God. Y'all should see Grandma and Shamako go back and forth. It is amazing to see. And Rashida's be sitting there like it's entertainment. Literally last time we'll have her feet up, her toes doing like this and eating and looking at them. I said, she has been highly entertained. And that was too, I must say. All right. I'm going to let you go. David said that type of prayer is easily received. Yeah. All right. See y'all later. Take care. War Leap Lovely, the way I say, and we're going to go out on you getting the decolonized prayer into your database. There's another chat GPT that I want to introduce to you. And this chat GPT is for those of you that are decolonizing and deconstructing in the world of your faith. As a Christian, we are taught to beg, ask the Lord, the Master, the King, for all of these different things. And that type of praying, we have used it for years, and it has worked because of our intention, but there's a better way to pray. And this new chat GPT is going to transform the way that you pray and help you pray decolonized prayers. This is where you pray with the understanding that God is not outside of you, but operating through you as source, creator, the divine intelligence. Begging is not praying. And begging while you're praying is not the best way to pray. And this chat GPT helps you pray in a way that is both spiritual, technicalized, and empowering, bringing together your mind and your feelings, your energy, your body, all together involved in the manifestation of what you want with your mouth. Your mouth is one of the greatest manifestation tools you have. And this chat GPT is going to teach you how to pray it into form. Download it right now. You see the link, hit the link, and it's going to integrate with your chat GPT